You probably asked yourself, am I on the right path? Or wondered why certain areas of your life keep pulling at you, even when they don't seem logical. The truth is, your energy has always been trying to guide you. And where can we find it? It's hidden in the house where your Ascendant Lord sits. In this video, we will uncover how that one placement reveals where your life wants to grow and what area you're truly meant to pour your energy. I made this for anyone who is tired of second guessing their direction and wants to feel like their life actually fits. Because if you don't know where your energy is designed to go, you'll keep chasing fulfillment in all the wrong places. If you've ever felt like life keeps pulling you in a certain direction, like you're being pulled towards a specific area again and again, even if it doesn't make sense, there's a reason for that. Because it's not random. Vedic astrology has this way of revealing where your life energy is meant to go and why. Not just what you're supposed to be doing, but the area your soul chose to evolve through. Welcome back to my channel. Here we don't just talk about astrology as a tool to predict the future. Instead, we use it to understand ourselves more deeply. So if you're here to live more intentionally, now let's get into it. So you already know that your rising sign is kind of like that starting point of your chart. It shows the role you're here to play, the energy your soul chose to lead with in this lifetime. But just knowing the rising sign is not the full story. It tells us how you're meant to move through life, but not where that energy is trying to go. And that's where the Ascendant Lord, the planet that rules your rising sign, comes in. You can think of it like this. So your rising sign is the map and the Ascendant Lord is the compass. And the house it is sitting in is the direction it's pointing in. That house shows where your life energy is being pulled again and again, often without even realizing it. Let's say your Ascendant Lord is in the 7th house. That doesn't just mean that relationships are important for you in this life. It means your entire life journey is meant to be shaped through connections and relationships, through learning how to balance yourself and the other, how to grow in a partnership, how to collaborate. Or if it's in the 10th house, your soul may be pushing you towards more visibility, responsibility, and creating impact in the public world. Not because it's better than any other house, but because that's where your soul signed up to grow. And the thing is, most people don't follow that pull. They chase goals that don't feel right and they end up feeling lost, stuck, and disconnected from themselves. Like they're missing something and they can't name what it is. And that's usually because they're ignoring the one clue their chart is giving them about where their energy is meant to go. You see, the universe doesn't place things randomly. The house your Ascendant Lord lands in is not just some random place. It's like your soul's GPS, quietly influencing all your choices, your desires, and even your challenges. Because life keeps pulling you towards that house's themes, whether you're aware of it or not. And when you start paying attention to it, when you align with it, things begin to feel more natural to you. You still have to do the work, of course, but there is this inner sense of, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Because it's not about what you do there, it's more about who you become as you move through that area of life. So yeah, knowing your rising sign is powerful, but the house your Ascendant Lord sitting in, that's the real clue to your soul's direction. But here's an interesting question. Why that house? Why would your soul, of all the 12 houses, choose that one particular house to grow through? That's what we are going to explore next. So why did your soul choose this one particular house to grow? Because nothing is random. In Vedic astrology, nothing is random. That house is karmic. It's not just where your life gets expressed, but it's where your soul wants evolution. It's like this area where old patterns meets new possibilities and where your past conditioning comes together with future potential. And that's why it is so important to pay attention to it, because the themes of that house will keep showing up again and again in your life until you learn that lesson and until you learn what you came here to learn. But most people resist the house their Ascendant Lord is in, not because they don't care, but because the pull of karma is not always easy. Let's say your Ascendant Lord is in the 7th house. You might constantly find yourself being shaped by other people through relationships, through partnerships, even when you're trying to be independent. And part of you might feel frustrated by that. Or maybe your Ascendant Lord is in the 12th house. And no matter how much you try to create control or structure in your life, your soul keeps pulling you inwards towards solitude and surrender, which you might not like. But that resistance is not a sign that you're off track. It's a friction between who you are and who you are here to become. Because the house your Ascendant Lord sits in is a place where your growth is meant to happen in this life. And the more you try to escape it, the more life keeps pushing you right back into that place. But when you start honoring that pull, when you stop seeing it as a problem and start treating it like a guide, everything changes. You will stop fighting your own energy and you stop trying to chase someone else's version of success. And you begin to work with your karma instead of going round and round. And that's when real clarity starts to come. You'll start seeing why certain patterns keep repeating in your life and how you can move through them with awareness instead of resisting it. And it's not just about the house, because how that karma unfolds also depends on who is carrying that karma. So the planet that rules your rising sign, be it Moon, Saturn or Venus, it brings its own personality with it, its own flavor, and that completely changes how your soul experiences this journey. Let's get into that next. If this kind of perspective is helping you see your life more clearly, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I share content like this to help you align with your energy and live from your highest potential. So now we know that the house your Ascendant Lord sits in shows where your life energy is being pulled. The next question is, how does that energy actually flow? And what is its rhythm? What does it feel like to walk that path? That answer comes from the planet that rules your rising sign, because each planet carries its own personality, its own way of doing things, and that flavor completely changes how your journey unfolds. Let me give you an example. So let's say two people both have their Ascendant Lords in the 10th house, the house of career, public impact and achievement. One of them has their rising lord as Saturn and the other one has the rising lord as Sun. So same house and same general direction, but completely different energies. Saturn and Sun are like completely opposite energies. The person with Saturn might move through life slowly and steadily, learning patience, discipline and resilience. And the one with the Sun, they are here to radiate, to lead, to be seen. Their soul craves visibility and expression, not because of ego, but because that's how they grow. You see how different they both are, even though both of them are in the 10th house. Your Ascendant Lord gives your purpose a tone. It's like the filter that your entire life path flows through. And here's where people get confused. When people know the house their Ascendant Lord sits in, but ignore the planet, they miss the whole point. Because they might say, oh, my Ascendant Lord is in the 10th house, so I need to be successful in my career. But if that planet is Venus, their path to purpose might be through art or relationships or creating harmony, not exactly through corporate ladders. Or if the planet is Mars, the energy might be more about competition or courage. Same house, but totally different styles. This is why so many people feel like they're doing the right thing, but still something feels off, because they're not doing with the right energy. When you start tuning into the planet and not just the house, things will start aligning better for you. You begin to understand, this is how I'm designed to move, and these are the qualities I need to bring forward. Even if you and your best friend both have Ascendant Lord in the 5th house, if yours is ruled by Mercury and theirs is ruled by Mars, your growth will come through completely different channels. One of you might be there to create and communicate, and the other might be driven by passion, drive, and intensity. So same stage, different character, different journey. So if the house is the where, the planet is the how and why. And when you start honoring both, your life stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a natural rhythm, because you're not here to be someone else anymore. You're just being you. Now, what happens when your Ascendant Lord is placed in a house that feels completely unfamiliar? Let's dive into that next. So what if your Ascendant Lord is sitting in one of the so-called difficult houses, like the 6th house, 8th house, or the 12th house? You might be thinking, why me? Why the house of enemies, death, and loss? What does that even mean for my purpose? Why is my Ascendant Lord sitting in those houses? Nobody likes those labels, but it doesn't mean that something is wrong. In Vedic Astrology, these houses are often misunderstood. They are not about punishment. They are about growth through pressure, through challenge, change, and inner work. So when your Ascendant Lord lands in one of these houses, it just means that your soul's evolution is tied to areas that the world doesn't always glamorize, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. For example, the 6th house is about conflict, effort, service, and healing. The 8th house is about transformation, depth, and facing what's hidden. The 12th house is about isolation, spirituality, and letting go. It's not the easy route, but it's meaningful because these houses demand real growth. They make you dig deep, and over time they shape you into someone who can hold more resilience, more truth, and more presence. So if you feel like your life's path has been harder or less visible than others, that might actually be the point. So now that you know who your Ascendant Lord is, let's talk about where it's placed. Specifically, which house of your birth chart it's sitting in. Let's go through each house one by one so you can start to connect the dots in your own chart. If your Ascendant Lord is in the 1st house, your path starts with you. Your growth comes from fully being who you are. Your personality, your body, your presence in this world. It can feel like everything is personal or like you're constantly evolving, and that's kind of the point. This placement basically says that don't look outside of yourself for your purpose. You are the purpose, and your authenticity is what will bring the right people and right things into your life. When your Ascendant Lord is in your 2nd house, your purpose is closely tied to what you value, not just in terms of money or material things, but your self-worth, your voice, your ability to create stability in life. You might find that your path unfolds through developing skills and managing resources or sharing your truth. Security matters to you, but you're not here to just hold on to your security. You're here to build something solid from inside out. When your Ascendant Lord is in the 3rd, learning is part of your life path. You grow by exploring, by writing, speaking, teaching, or trying new things. And because this is a placement that thrives on variety. So if your journey feels a little bit scattered at times, that you're doing 100 different things, that's okay. You're learning through experience. You're not meant to have all the answers from the start. Just keep following the things that light you up, and your curiosity is actually pointing you in the right direction. If your Ascendant Lord is in the 4th house, your purpose starts with the inner world, your home, your emotional foundation, your roots. You're here to build safety for yourself and for others. That might look like creating a family or doing some inner healing. You may not always feel seen in the traditional sense, but you hold power in your ability to create belonging. When your Ascendant Lord is in the 5th house, self-expression is core of your path. You're here to create, whether that's through art, children, ideas, or simply joyful moments. What's the challenge here? You might feel the pressure to perform or prove your worth through your creations. But the magic happens when you create for the joy of it and not just to impress others. Your light is what inspires others. And the more you own your uniqueness, the more the doors will open for you naturally. Sixth house is often about the day-to-day routines, responsibilities, healing, and hard work. So when your Ascendant Lord falls here, life might feel like a series of challenges or lessons, but they're not random. They're shaping you into someone deeply capable. And you're here to refine, to serve, and to find purpose in the details. And through that process, you develop a kind of self-mastery, one that helps others grow too. When your Ascendant Lord is in the 7th house, relationships play a big role in your purpose. It could be romantic, business, or friendship, or any other kind of relationship. But your growth happens through connections. It doesn't mean that you're defined by others. It just means that other people act as mirrors to you, showing you what you need and what you value and where your boundaries are. This is your path, and learning how to stay rooted in yourself while engaging deeply with others is part of your journey. If your Ascendant Lord is in the 8th house, you're here to grow through transformation. This is the house of depth, of letting go or diving into the unknown and rising stronger on the other side. You may face times when life asks you to surrender what no longer serves you, but these moments are powerful. Your ability to face the shadows and transform that pain into wisdom is part of your gift to the world. When your Ascendant Lord is in the 9th house, your path is about seeking truth, meaning, and bigger perspective in life. You grow through exploration of ideas, culture, philosophy, or even spirituality. You might be a teacher, a traveler, or a guide, but your real job is to live your truth out loud. Others will learn just by watching you walk your talk. The 10th house is connected to your public role, your career, your visibility. So when your Ascendant Lord lands here, you're meant to do something in the world, to take your inner growth and turn it into outer impact. And you might feel pressure to succeed, but remember, your authenticity is your strength. And when you lead from who you truly are, success just becomes a side effect of that. When your Ascendant Lord is in the 11th house, your path is connected to people, networks, or larger visions. You're here to make an impact, not just one-on-one impact, but across big scale on community. But staying true to yourself while working in a group setting is the challenge here. And your individuality is what adds value to the collective. So don't water it down just to fit in. Let it shine. If your Ascendant Lord is in the 12th house, your path is less about doing and more about being. This house is subtle. It's about intuition, dreams, spirituality, and letting go. You might feel drawn to creative, spiritual, or healing work. This doesn't mean that your purpose is vague or less than others. It just means that you're here to tune in deeply, to live from a place that others can't always see, but they can feel it. Your energy itself can be healing. Now that you've seen what each house means, I'd love to know which house your Ascendant Lord is in. And can you feel how life has been pulling you in this direction, even if you didn't understand it before? Drop it in the comments. I'll be reading through, and I might even add in some extra insights. So now that you've seen how your Ascendant Lord's house reveals your mode of purpose, let's zoom back a little bit, because there's a mindset trap almost everyone falls into when searching for their life purpose, and it can totally derail you if you're not careful. So by now, your Ascendant Lord has probably given you a lot to think about. You might be wondering, if mine is in the 10th, does that mean I have to be some kind of leader? If it's in the 12th, am I just supposed to live in isolation in the mountains? It's completely normal to want clarity, to want something that you can name or label, something that gives you direction and ideally looks good on a business card, right? But this is where the path starts getting a bit slippery, because if you're not careful, the search for clarity can turn into search for certainty. And that's when a lot of people end up getting stuck. We start using astrology like a checklist, looking for that one particular label that will make everything click. We say, oh, my Ascendant Lord is in the 7th house, so that must mean I should become a counselor or a mediator. Or if my Ascendant is in the 3rd house, maybe I should become a writer or a content creator. We confuse what we do with who we are here to become. But your purpose was never supposed to be a static role. It's not a position you fill. It's a state of being you live into. And the more tightly you cling to one picture of success, like a job title or one life path, it might sound impressive to others. The more likely you are to build a life that looks good from the outside, but it will feel hollow on the inside. Because astrology isn't there to give you a career map. It's not a resume builder. It's a map of your vibration. It shows you the energetic themes that feel like home to your soul. So when your Ascendant Lord is landing in a particular house, it's not saying, here's the exact thing you should go become. It's instead saying, here's a part of life where your soul wants to play. Here's the arena where your essence wants to be felt, to be expressed, to be explored. So ask yourself, does the way I show up in my work, in my relationships, in myself, feel like me? Do I feel like I'm expressing the essence of this placement? That's alignment. That's when your path stops feeling like something you're constantly trying to find and starts feeling like something you're finally letting yourself be. If there's one thing I hope lands with you today, it's this. You're not here to find your purpose. You're here to embody it. You don't need to chase it like a finish line. You don't need a little label or a perfect 5-year plan, because the house your Ascendant Lord is in is not a job description. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to the experiences where your soul gets to breathe, gets to feel more alive. And some part of you already knows this because you felt it in those moments where everything clicked. Not because your life looked impressive, but because it felt true from inside. That's your internal compass, and that is the magic of Vedic astrology. It doesn't just describe who you are, it activates who you are here to be. You're not here to fit in a role. You're here to become a force. And when you start showing up like that, life starts reshuffling around you. The right people show up, the right doors will unlock for you. Even obstacles will make sense to you because your energy finally has a shape, a rhythm, a direction. That's purpose. Now I want to hear from you. If this helped you see what area of your life you should be focusing on, there's more coming. Subscribe so that you don't miss the next deep dive, and if there is something specific that you want me to explore next, tell me in the comments. I might just make a video on it. And if you haven't watched my video on how your rising sign alone reveals your life direction, that's the next stop. I'll link it right here. Go dive in.